Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sermons from My Heart. This is Craig Conlon speaking. Today's message is a children's message in which I talk about the star that leads the way. My message is based on Matthew chapter 2 verses 1 to 12. I'll read that passage to you now. In the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is the child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising, and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired of them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it is written by the prophet, 'And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel.'" Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then, opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Good morning, boys and girls. Did you have a good Christmas? Did you get lots of gifts? Did any of you go on a trip over Christmas? How did you get there? Did you have to get directions? How did you get them? Did you ask someone? Did you go online and get directions? Did your parents use a GPS system or a map? A long time ago, there were some people who went on a journey. Can anyone guess who they were? They were the 3 wise men. Let me tell you the story. After Jesus was born, some wise men, also called Magi, saw a star in the sky which they believed announced the birth of a king. They traveled to Jerusalem and began to ask, "Where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star as it rose, and we have come to worship him." Herod heard about the Magi and their search for a king, and he was deeply disturbed. He called a meeting of the priests and teachers of religious law and asked, "Where is the Messiah supposed to be born?" The priests told Herod that the prophet Micah had written that the Messiah was to be born in Bethlehem. Herod called a private meeting with the wise men and said to them, "Go to Bethlehem and search carefully for the child, and when you find him, come back and tell me so that I can go and worship him too." The wise men didn't have a map or the internet or a GPS system. They had something even better to guide them. They had a star. So the wise men followed the information that the priests had given to Herod and the star that God had given to guide them, and it led them right to Jesus. When they found him, they gave him gifts and bowed down and worshipped him. Wise men, women, boys, and girls are still searching for Jesus. There are people who want to help, people like pastors and Sunday school teachers. There is no map to help us find Jesus, and there is no star to follow, but we do have the Bible. We can find the way to Jerusalem by reading God's holy word. The Bible is the map and star that will lead us to Jesus. All of us should read it every day to make sure that we are headed in the right direction. Let's close our eyes and bow our heads for a moment of prayer. Dear Jesus, we seek you today because we want to worship you and crown you as our King. We are thankful for pastors and Sunday school teachers who want to help us, and we are thankful for the Bible, which we have been given to lead us to you. Amen. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sermons from My Heart. The text of this sermon, as well as the texts of other sermons I have preached, can be found on my website, www.sermonsfrommyheart.com. Comments and suggestions are always welcome. You can leave comments on the website, or you can send them to me by email at craigcondon1965@gmail.com, or you can leave them on the Sermons from My Heart Facebook page. Until next time, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, and the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us all evermore. Amen.